Welcome to a brand new episode of Girl, Geek, and a Gay. So, when I was a kid, I remember we used to go to the video store, right? And it wasn't a blockbuster because we didn't have that kind of money. But one of the movies I remember not only renting multiple times because I was a child and like watching the same thing over and over again, but also watching whenever it was on TV is a movie with two kids that find a lamp, rub it out,
Don't say it like they were kids. Okay.
and out pops Sinbad.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
However, this movie, Shazam, just never existed.
Wait. Okay. It was called Shazam though?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't there a Shazam with
There was a Kazam
Kazam.
with Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay. So
Different movie.
the reason we're talking about this is because the topic of our tackle this week is Mandela Effects, right?
Yes.
Okay. So apparently that movie really does exist.
No. Sinbad himself has said that he's never made that movie.
But that he's trying to cover it up.
College Humor made a sketch or like a skit.
Okay.
Sorry, a skit.
Okay.
Where he plays a genie in a skit called Shazam. But it's poking fun at the Mandela Effect.
Oh.
What?
No, I was like owing about what you said.
Oh, that's it?
No, I remember there being this movie too where Sinbad was a genie in a movie as well.
But no, Sinbad himself has said that he's never played a genie in a movie.
But he's lying.
He can't be trusted.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. No, and then the skit. See, that's not it. Is that the cover?
No,
that's not. It's fake.
That's not. That's fake. That's so fake.
Sinbad Shazam.
Yeah.
I do remember him being a genie in something too, and I was just having a conversation. We talked about this, and I'm like, I don't remember any Mandela effects. but okay, this one's always gonna stump me because I remember this movie as well. Mm-hmm. But I also remember the Shaquille O'Neal movie,
the Kazam movie.
Yeah,
I never watched that one, but
I'm pretty sure I saw it.
I know it exists.
Yeah,
but that was.
I think there was only one kid in that one.
Yes,
as opposed to two kids in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember him doing this as well.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So for those that don't know what the Mandela Effect is, it is a phenomenon in which people collectively remember historical facts different. It was dubbed the Mandela Effect because Fiona Broome believed that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s when he died in 2013.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have known because I was born in the 80s, late 80s.
Yeah. So it's a little bit out of our time, but it was dubbed that because Mandela.
Yeah, according to Fiona Broome, a lot of people remember Nelson Mandela having died in the 80s and even remember Oprah doing a special in the 90s about Nelson Mandela's life and death in prison.
Did they record it?
I mean, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. So, and I'm saying like the Oprah thing.
Well, it doesn't exist, is what I'm saying. Like, people remember this thing that never happened.
Wow.
So scientists have had experiments with people's memories, and some studies have shown that it is possible to implant memories into people, making them believe things that never existed or that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that makes the Mandela Effect so interesting is that all of these people remember the same thing. So they have like word association, right?
Yeah.
Where you show a picture of a gun firing, for instance, and people swear they saw a bullet, right? When you didn't. Like there's no bullet in the picture.
Okay, got it.
But the association, right, really comes along with that. They had so one study they did is they had three different pictures of something, right? Mm-hmm. And they asked people to pick out what the correct picture was, and it was the real picture, the Mandela Effect picture, and then one other picture that had just been altered in some other way.
Okay.
Right? And overwhelmingly, people would pick the Mandela Effect picture. So it wasn't even the other one. So, for instance, the Fruit of the Looms logo.
Okay. It's funny you say that because that just came up.
Yeah, so the Fruit of the Looms logo.
Yeah.
I remember there being a cornucopia.
Okay.
There
like
is
the
no
basket thing that's in.
There is no cornucopia in the Fruit of the Looms. It's just fruit, right?
Yeah.
So in a scientist's mind, it's like, oh, you see fruit, so you imagine a bowl or a plate. So the pictures was just the fruit, the fruit with the cornucopia or the fruit on a plate, right?
Yeah.
So they're thinking, well, if it's word association, then you're gonna go for the fruit on the plate because not a lot of people think fruit in a cornucopia, right?
Yeah.
And no, like people would overwhelmingly pick the cornucopia. And they even did it to where they gave the correct picture to people and had them study it for hours later to ask them to pick the correct picture out, and they would still pick the Mandela Effect one as the correct picture.
So they would give them the correct picture, right? And then somehow later on, their brain would still pick the wrong one, the Mandela Effect picture, quote unquote. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's so much stuff that so many people remember.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Yeah.
Or that didn't happen the way we remember.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on it last time with memories.
Yeah.
And because memories are so fickle, it's so easy to misremember something.
Yes, right.
But the whole thing, it's like such a large number of people remembering the same thing.
Yeah.
That seems to be where the phenomena part comes in.
Yeah, I just wonder if like at a certain point now, the fact that people believe so much that there are Mandela effects, that now it's just creating this.
They're just looking for
They're just looking for more Mandela effects, quote unquote, and that's what it's becoming. That's what it's become. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this, but then it's like in reality, it's never been that type of thing. There is one thing that caught me off guard recently, and I would say recently, probably like the last 4 or 5 years. But I was a huge, and this is the only real instance of Mandela Effect for me, aside from this thing that we just talked about. I was watching America's Next Top Model because I'm a huge fan of shit like that. Yeah, I like reality shows for some reason. But I was watching America's Next Top Model, and it was like season 9, I believe. And to me, I already know the winners. Like I already knew the winners up until that time, right? And then in the finale of the season, like it ended up being some other winner, and I was like, wait, I thought Allison, I think the girl's name was Allison that I thought won. I thought she won, and it totally threw me off. Like I was like, wait, I don't remember this girl winning. Why did she win this time around? But last time, and it was on Hulu. I was rewatching it on Hulu, and it really threw me off. It really just like I was like, wait, I don't remember this at all being this way, So that's the biggest instance of a Mandela effect for me. Like it was America's Next Top Model. So.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
It's crazy.
Well, like a lot of those things can be attributed to just misremembering something.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think that movie lines really prove this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it is the way language is spoken or things are enunciated, pronounced, or just different. There's so many factors.
Yeah. I mean, even us being bilingual could cause issues like that too, because let's say the movies are translated to Spanish, and so like you watch it in Spanish maybe with your family or something like that, or like I would with my family, and they say things in a certain way that's different from from the American version, from the English version.
Yeah. Growing up, I used to, I think I mentioned that I used to watch Cartoon Network in Spanish. Like all the movies I watched were in Spanish, like dubbed in Spanish. Okay. It was always the same 4 actors. I swear to God. Same actors? 4 voice actors that voiced everybody in every single Spanish dubbed movie. But for me, cartoons. Like I used to watch Scooby-Doo in Spanish. So growing up, like when I would hear somebody refer to somebody, I'm like, that's not their name,
Yeah.
I'm like, he's Pedro Picapiedra. Fred. Fuck, where'd you get Fred from?
See, there you go.
That's not even Pedro in Spanish.
Yeah, but see, there you go. Like you have this association of name, right, to it, right, and it turns out that it's not really the name that he's given in the English language, like it throws you off, right?
Yeah, because one of the famous ones is Star Wars.
Yeah,
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah,
as opposed to no, I am your father.
Oh,
right, which is the correct phrasing.
Yeah,
and even people point at James Earl Jones when he's talking about reading the script, and when he sees no, Luke, I am your father. That's how he quoted it himself, and it's like, well, that's not the line. But again, we're all in that moment, like we're all in that shock because that was such a huge moment in film history, you know.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
But there's plenty like the Forrest Gump, you know, life was like a box of chocolates, which is really life is like a box of chocolates.
I always remembered it as life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people remember it as was like a box of chocolates.
Oh. What? But why would it be was? Because I mean, he's like still in the movie, like it's his life, like he's in present time talking about that moment.
I think because in that scene when he's talking to the nurse and he's just like, Mama always told me life was like a box of chocolates, you know, like just I think it works in the context of the scene.
Yes, yeah.
And because he's talking about, well, this is what Mom used to tell me, like like life was like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, and then even to the extent of the language, like the way you did the accent right now, it could even make sense for, you know, the way it was spoken, you know, like in the movie, you know, maybe that's why people associate it, like maybe Southerners associate it more as like a was as opposed to like is, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, there's all sorts, you know, mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah,
which is also wrong.
Yeah, see, I still remember that as mirror, mirror on the wall. But
and here's the thing:
saw it once
in the original book. It's written as mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah,
but in the movie, which is what we all remember, it's magic mirror on the wall.
Oh,
that's what she says. Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
We have to really consider, though. Again, we saw this when we were like for me, for example, I was a child. If I even remember watching Sleeping Beauty, it was Sleeping Beauty.
No, that was Snow White.
Yeah. Are you sure? Okay.
You know what's funny?
Snow White.
I've never seen Snow White.
Okay. Is it Snow White for real?
It is Snow White.
Okay. Okay. It's on a what? Oh,
I haven't been to this.
But
like 15 years.
Well, same thing. Like I haven't been on the fucking Snow White ride. So what the fuck? I'm just saying, like, well, that's what I'm saying. So when we have the
that
first,
sounds like a cocaine trip.
The Snow White ride. So now, like, if again you're a child, I was a child. I don't even know what movie it was exactly. You know,
well, you thought it was Sleeping Beauty.
It could be
a completely different movie.
In my head, it is still Sleeping Beauty.
That's
you know?
Rumpelstiltskin.
No, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Rumpelstiltskin was not in that movie.
Rumpelstiltskin is Sleeping Beauty.
Is it? No, it's the evil queen.
Isn't it?
Maleficent.
What the fuck's Rumpelstiltskin?
Wait, is it Maleficent? It's from Sleeping Beauty, right?
Yeah, but no, Maleficent is fuck if I know, man.
I don't think Rumpelstiltskin is in this at all, so I don't know where the fuck he came from. But what I'm saying is like, okay, see, that's how fucked up. But see, Mandela effects, bro. Like, I'm just saying, like, we're children when those memories are probably us being exposed, you know, to those things when we're kids, and all these things are mixing together in our heads. Your memory is not a reliable thing, you know. We've talked about that. You know, It just becomes this thing of like you're remembering what you think you remember of a specific situation.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of it is what we remember as opposed to what happened, right?
Yeah.
And we touched on this with Megan last week when we were talking about deja vu.
Yeah,
and how time is just like how time works.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
See, this is why I thought it was Sleeping Beauty with Rumpelstiltskin. With some version of the Miller's Daughter, blonde, straw into gold, and then she pricks her hand on the spinning wheel, and
she faints. She passes out.
Like that. I don't fucking know at this point, man.
Yeah, now I'm confused. Is that how? No, because there was Maleficent. Oh no, it was the evil queen. Wait,
it was the
evil queen was Snow White. Oh,
okay. I mean,
okay. So Maleficent becomes a dragon, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got here. Yeah, the evil witch Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. I do remember that Rumpelstiltskin thing but then happens in Sleeping Beauty, but not with Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, or
you're Mandela affecting it?
Yeah, I think I'm just
mixing fairy tales together.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because I mean these are movies I haven't seen.
Exactly. Yeah, well, you've never seen them.
No, I remember, and I had not remembered this until this very moment.
Crazy.
But I did a play in elementary school.
You're a Rumpelstiltskin.
I was Rumpelstiltskin.
I feel like you're a Sleeping Beauty.
Wow. I mean, you're gonna make me blush.
Anyway.
But you know, back to this, you know, for instance, Silence of the Lambs. You seen Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
Hello, Clarice.
Yeah.
Right?
Hello, Clarice.
Yeah. Big line that never happened.
He doesn't say hello, Clarice. What
He
does
says
say?
good evening, Clarice.
Oh.
Or good morning, Clarice, at some point. But he never says hello, Clarice, which is what we all remember.
Yeah.
He says something akin to it in not in the sequel,
Yeah.
on the phone.
No, that was Scream. Hello.
Yeah. And so here's my thought. Have you ever had a near death experience?
Like
Yeah,
like I get flashes before
no,
my
well, yeah, it's something where you feel like you almost died. Like
I mean,
literally could have died.
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to tell you the
Yes,
story?
please.
Okay, so
We got time to fill. This is amazing.
we gotta feel something else though. Okay, so but I guess I'm just confused about why this is gonna be associated to Mandela effects. But okay, so there was one day I was leaving my parents' apartment, and I was let's say I was gonna make a left turn right into a street that goes north, blah blah blah, right? And I told myself, and before the car turned in front of me, and I told myself, okay, just wait, make sure there's no traffic coming from the opposite side, right? Thankfully I stopped. Like I stopped, I waited, I made sure there was no traffic, right? As I stopped, it was still green for me. This car comes from like not where I was expecting from at all. I was expecting it from the front. It came from the side, you know. And thankfully, nothing happened to me, you know, in that moment, you know. But it's like something told me, hey, like don't go. Just make sure there's no traffic, and it saved me from the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
For me, the one, because I have had a few instances.
Okay.
But the one I remember the most was one of the most recent ones, which was still a few years back.
Okay.
But I was on my motorcycle, and I'm splitting lanes because it is legal here in California, and it makes traffic just bearable.
What does that mean?
When you're driving in between cars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. You're a man. Got it.
Well, not just that, it helps you guys out because I'm not creating traffic.
Well, okay.
So I'm splitting lanes. I'm not going very fast.
Okay.
And a car decides that they're gonna switch lanes, right?
Oh.
So they start to, and I guess they noticed me and stopped
What the fuck?
right in front of me.
Oh shit.
And I swear, the way everything seemed, it seemed like things went into slow motion. And I was like, I could hit this car dead on. I could go to the left where I seem to have more room.
Yeah.
But I'll hit the wall. Like chances are I could hit that barrier.
Right.
Or I could go to the right where there are more cars, but I feel like I could just slip through.
Wow.
And I went to the right.
Wow.
Right? But I just feel like everything just slowed down there.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it a while later, and I started thinking about the way multiple dimensions work, multiple realities.
The splits.
Yeah, and I was like, what if that was one of those moments?
Yeah.
Where in another version of me, I made the wrong decision and I hit that car.
Holy shit.
So what if it's just consciousness being transferred from one reality to the other?
Yes. That's interesting. Like in my situation, like what if I got hit by the car?
Yeah.
Right, type of thing. Wow. Or like what if I decided not to look and got hit? But that's really interesting. And then it's just, you said like your consciousness across three different like moments right there.
Yeah.
It's being split up into different directions, and then they just overlap at a certain point in your brain. You know, wow. That's crazy.
because I specifically remember that slowdown in time.
Yeah.
And of course, adrenaline, the way your brain just works to try to get you alive, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I
that's so crazy.
I specifically remember just everything just slowing down. And if I would have hit the brake, that also would have been a great point, because then I would have. Yeah, it's just. I was not in a good situation there, and somehow just picked the one out of the four choices that got me out of it. Right?
Crazy.
So so then I began to think, what if these are the moments where that timeline split.
Yeah.
You know, because everything. They say there are infinite amount of timelines because we're always making choices.
Right.
But what if like it's the big choices that create those timelines?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, like the person you end up with, these life altering moments, the school you go to, like these things that would really change your life, as opposed to what I had for breakfast today.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. This kind of associates to, like, for example, what happens in Doctor Strange too. Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Is what I meant.
I was thinking of a different Doctor Strange.
A different dick? Is that what you just said? Wait, what? I don't get it. Anyway, it kind of relates to like the way that they saw multiverses in that movie too, right? Like, well, it through dreams or whatever, you know, and so for example, Stephen Strange was remembering her, but it wasn't. It was just, you know, him traveling across different times. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and that could also account for deja vu too.
Yeah.
Like, all you're seeing is a different timeline, a different version, living through similar situations that aren't exact.
Yeah. That's crazy. Deja vu's happened to me quite a bit. Like, especially when I went to Malaga, like when I went to Spain, I was like,
humble brag.
Not at all. It was just. We went for Pokemon, Jose.
Damn, you got it like that?
You know what? Like, no, not like
You're
that.
like, it's not even a vacation. Dude. We're going Pokemon hunting.
We really did, though.
That's the equivalent of doctors going to Africa to take out a lion.
That's not what I mean.
You're like, I'm going to catch a Spanish Charizard.
You know how we... actually, it was Tropius, Tropius is supposed to be part of the African region, but if you go far enough south in Spain, you can get that Pokemon in the south of Spain. So that's why we went there. Jose. But we saved money. We worked hard for our trip. We didn't even go to Disneyland. We haven't gone to Disneyland since.
Poor thing.
I know. We're like victims in this. How dare you? What the fuck? Anyway, when we went to Malaga just seemed like so familiar to me. Like, it was just such a homely place for me, you know, and it was even looking like...
So you're visiting the motherland.
What does that mean?
Spain, Spanish conquistadors coming over to the Americas.
What the fuck? My last name is also a town up there in the north of Spain, but we didn't get to go to Aviles, unfortunately. Fuck.
Fucked up. You got to go back.
Delete
no
that.
Disneyland again this year.
We haven't gone to Disneyland for years, okay? Anyway, but yeah, so it felt very much like home. Like I had been there before, you know? So yeah, I can see that. That's crazy.
If you think that's crazy, so the Mandela Effect was dubbed in 2009, right? Mm-hmm. We've talked about CERN and their Large Hadron Collider. Okay. The first time it was turned on was in September of 2008. And there are people... So what I didn't know about the Hadron Collider, because I thought most of it was just the point of smashing atoms, right? Pretty much. But what they're looking for is that they are looking for alternate universes.
Signs of it, right?
Yeah, they're looking for signs of alternate universes, particles that are in our universe that look normal, but their mass is different, and that's how they think that they could prove the alternate universes. But of course, people think that the Hadron Collider being turned on caused these rips in time, basically.
Wow.
So everything things started to merge. That we started to merge with other timelines.
Yeah, the Noor world.
Yes.
Just kidding. Stop.
That TV show.
Yeah.
In 2015, there was an interesting story that I looked into, and it's been debunked more often than not. But citizens in China saw a city appear in the sky, right? Some people have talked about this being the what we saw as ripples of two realities merging, but they saw a city appear in the clouds, and the pictures were all kind of grainy, of course. You know, videos were grainy.
Yeah,
but scientists have called this Fata Morgana, which is an optical illusion which basically creates a mirage with very specific weather conditions and that bend light in a different way. Light, the way light works is actually very interesting, and you know the way we see things, the bending of light.
Right.
It creates different illusions that
Right.
aren't really there.
Right.
But yeah, for a large moment, there was people saying, "Well, this is proof that two realities are merging." You know, you have this city just appearing in the sky over China.
But like seeing it over the sky, like wouldn't it just be like a new building somewhere? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like why would it be floating in the sky?
Well,
as
because
opposed
it's
to, like-
merging. So maybe, like I've mentioned, maybe
That's
universes lie atop each other,
Okay,
and like the pages in the book.
that's very specific.
But
Yeah.
someone else also put it as radio stations, you know, right next to each other, and every once in a while, while you're listening to a radio station, the frequencies kind of merge, and you start hearing like the next radio station, like what's going on in the next radio station.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But see, the way that we're thinking of it is very, I guess you can say, linear in a sense, because like we're saying overlapping, right?
Yeah.
We think about
Like
above
literally?
above and below, right? As opposed to like two buildings side by side. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like so for it to specifically be merging downward onto this plane type of thing,
Yeah.
it's very specific to be able to see
Well,
it that way, you know?
If that's what you saw, that's the way you would explain it.
That's a good
You
point.
know,
Yeah.
if you would have seen a building appear next to another one that
Yeah.
wasn't there previously, then
Yeah.
you would associate the other way.
I get it.
But you're doing like what you're seeing is what you're trying to explain.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, the radio stations. I
Yeah.
think that's actually a great example because you can be listening to one radio station, and you just go through an area where things are a little wonky, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you could hear the radio station next to it,
Yeah,
right at the
yeah.
same time as you're hearing what you're listening to on the station you're currently on.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so things kind of just bleeding over,
Yep.
and you know we have many examples of the Mandela effect. Of course, like the Mona Lisa smile. People don't remember the Mona Lisa smiling, right? Or,
Like the smirk that she gives?
Yeah.
Or, uh-huh.
like people remember her just with a stone face.
Oh.
And the way that scientists have tried to explain that is as when we're younger, I guess, we don't see her smirk as a smile. Basically, is what it is.
It's the understanding. Got
yeah.
it.
Like as we age, as we grow, as we learn,
Yeah.
our understanding of things become different.
Yeah, and it could go very much either way. I'm looking at the picture right now just because I was curious. Like,
Yeah.
like it could go either way, right? Like some people could interpret that
Very
as a
much so.
smirk, and somebody could interpret it as like
Yeah,
some other type
that
of
emoji.
Yeah, exactly, right? Or some people can interpret it as just like even kind of smug, like it's all in the interpretation.
Yeah.
you know.
Like there's also the Pikachu Mandela effect.
Yeah, I
which
saw
I'm
that
sure
one.
you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
does Pikachu have a black tip?
Oh, stop!
What?
He does not,
Well,
and not
apparently
especially
not.
if you don't say it like if you say it like that's weird.
But people remember the black tip.
I don't. I never have. And then the only reason I even question it now is because it was
Because you
brought
saw
up.
it.
Yeah, it's because it was brought up. So like even now thinking about it, it's like, did he? Like it creates, but because of the like for example, the
Yeah.
ears have black tips, right? So but even look at the original Pikachu
Yeah.
design. He doesn't have a black tip. It's brown even.
Okay, so here's one. Remember that? Oh, we know we can count on you to prevent forest fires.
Sure.
The name of the mascot?
Smokey the Bear.
No.
It's not Smokey the Bear.
Well, yeah,
Smokey Bear?
it's just Smokey Bear.
Oh. Okay, well.
Yeah, and everybody will always say Smokey the Bear, and people are like, well, they're trying to differentiate as opposed to
Smokey Robinson?
or we're back to movie lines. What's it called? The Cheshire Cat.
The Cheshire Cat?
Yeah, that
Cheshire.
one. In
Yeah. Alice in Wonderland.
yeah, that one. The line
Yeah.
says, we're all mad here, right?
Yeah.
No, it's everyone. Most everyone's mad here. Is the line.
Oh.
Or something
very
like the Lindbergh baby. Do you remember hearing about the Lindbergh baby?
No. Maybe. After you start telling me the story, I'm sure I'll remember.
Um,
Mandela Effect.
So back in the 20s, All right, I might get the
20.
timeline
Oh,
wrong.
okay.
Yeah, this was a while ago, but we learned about it.
2020s?
So,
Oh my
damn,
god!
100
Oh my
years ago.
god! Oh my god! We're in the 20s. Jesus Christ!
Thank you for that.
Fuck you.
So, Charles Lindbergh, you know, the guy that flew across the Atlantic,
Yeah.
his baby was kidnapped, right?
Okay.
And I remember being like learning about this case,
Okay.
right? The Lindbergh baby. And I remember there being stories where, oh, this person claims to be the Lindbergh baby because it was always a cold case, right? It was never solved. But no, the body of the Lindbergh baby was found. But everybody remembers it being a cold case. Like it never, like they never figured out what happened.
That's a very specific situation. I might have heard it, but I can't. I think I remember people coming forward about stuff like that and saying they were that kid type of thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There was another thing that kind of tripped me out.
Okay.
But I didn't look into it very well. And I should have. And I took the notes to look into it. And I didn't.
Uh-huh.
But they pretty much found a new organ in the human body.
Okay.
Which is called the interstitium.
Uh-huh. Where is it in the ear?
No. You know what? Like I don't want to go into this because I didn't look into it.
Okay.
But it's from what I saw, it's
Yeah.
now considered the largest organ in the human body,
Okay.
which before was the skin,
Uh-huh.
or you know. What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I do need to look into that.
No
a little
worries.
more.
Yeah.
One thing that I've mentioned that always trips me out, and it's Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Because to me, I remember cartoons.
Yeah.
Like crazy
Yeah.
cartoons.
Yeah.
And you know, but it being the Merry Melodies type thing.
Yeah.
It's you know, maybe my brain just flipped it.
Yeah,
And I even remember the Toon Squad, like being cartoons. You know, when they did the Space Jam movie, like TOON Squad on the jerseys.
Oh,
Space
that's very
Jam.
specific. Yeah, I mean, it could be in my head right now. Like that's just what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But see, and again, this goes back to a lot of the things that we remember from when we were young, and also the processing and the understanding of what the definition actually. What, let's say Looney Tunes, like you said, right? The reason that we associate TOONS, right,
cartoons.
is because of cartoons, right? Because we're kids, we're not thinking like it's
and we
about.
can't spell.
Well, yeah. There's a part of it, right? But I'm saying like it's not so much that we can't spell because we can spell tunes, right? Because we're thinking cartoons, right? Like that's what we are used to seeing it as. Because it doesn't have to do with the music in our head. It has to do with the animation, the tunes, you know. And so that's where again memory, the memory overlapping, you know, that we do it to ourselves, and that's why a lot of people do it. You know, it's just the way it works. Yeah. It's just your understanding of things as you grow. You like if you watch something now, a movie that you haven't seen from your kid, you're like, wow, I understand this movie so much more differently than I did when I was a kid because of the fact that I had a different understanding of the world at that time than I do now.
Yeah, and there's plenty of moments like that.
Yeah.
There's things that we remember that it's like, oh, I remember that different. You know, for instance, the Queen song, "We Are the Champions."
Yeah.
You know, the way it ends. No? You've never heard this one? Right? Yeah, no.
It doesn't say that?
No.
What does it say?
It just ends.
No, it does end of the world.
No.
It doesn't say of the world?
No.
We are the champions of
and
the
then it
world.
ends.
No fucking way.
It ends.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. He does it in like the middle of the song.
Oh,
but when it ends, it just ends.
Oh. Wow. Now I gotta listen to that song. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Wow.
Stephen Hawking believes that because of the law of conservation,
Wow. He's still alive. What are you talking about? What Mandela Effect are you in?
Stephen Hawking is not alive.
It was a joke.
Okay, just making sure.
Based on the Mandela Effect conversation that we're having. Jose.
Well, because of the law of conservation of mass, things destroyed would leave evidence that they've been destroyed.
Oh, okay.
And it seems that he believes that when things go into a black hole, what's really happening is that they are emerging in an alternate universe.
Crazy.
Believed.
Is he alive or not, Jose? Make up your mind.
Damn it.
What universe are you in right now?
I have no idea. I barely know where I'm at.
Wow.
Of course, a famous one, Berenstein.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they even refer to it in Peacemaker.
Yeah. Again, the more we talk about it, the more it makes sense that we're just kids. Like, for example, earlier we were talking about Lucy, I Love Lucy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how when she went to describe arroz con pollo or, chicken and rice, she used some racial, indications to indicate rice, right? And I don't fucking remember that. But it happened, so that's the thing. You don't have that association being a kid watching that show. And I did watch it as a kid at a certain point, I never would have noticed that or even knew what she was talking about. Now watching the show, you watch it and you're like, holy shit, like where did all this racism come from? It was a real thing. It is a real thing. And I only say that in association because, again, you remember things differently from when you were a kid because you remember certain things that to you were important.
Mean differently.
Yeah. And they mean things differently because you have a different outlook on life at that point in life.
Well, speaking of I Love Lucy, famous line with Ricky Ricardo, Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Is that not what they say?
He never says it.
You're lying.
He never says those words.
Does he say Lucy splain?
He says splaining sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But those words are never said.
What the fuck? I remember that one.
No, you don't.
Fuck you. Don't tell me what I remember.
It's a phrase that comes from that pop culture of the show.
Oh, okay.
And people have just been using it to the point people believe it.
So what about? So is there ever a point where Lucy says it? Because I feel like she says it making fun of like him, and she just adds something to it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wonder, I haven't seen.
From what I've seen, those lines are never spoken in that show.
Wow.
People do believe that it goes back to an SNL sketch where somebody said it and people just took it and ran with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody remembers it in that show.
Wow. Crazy.
There's Curious George.
Yeah.
Does he have a tail or not?
I don't know that much about it. Yeah.
No.
I mean, he's a monkey. He has a tail, in my opinion.
All right. The painting of Henry VIII, but he doesn't have a tail.
Okay.
But the painting of Henry VIII, like we've all seen this painting.
What painting? Describe it to me.
The painting of Henry VIII. He's the king. He's standing there with the big, looking like Santa Claus. That big
red robe.
Yeah,
and
the big red robe.
What does he have? Like that hair?
The crown.
Oh, does he
beard.
have that
I think
fake
he has a beard.
wig here?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm picturing it now.
Mm-hmm.
Henry VIII.
Anything else you can remember on this painting?
Is he wearing long stockings, white stockings?
I don't know if he's wearing white stockings.
Oh.
But, well, people remember this painting, and I remember this painting when he's holding a turkey leg.
Oh. And it
but he's
have
not.
a turkey?
No, there is no turkey leg.
Wait, so Henry VIII, right?
Yes.
Is it this one?
It's fun. Yeah, that one.
He's wearing long stockings.
Yes, he is.
It looks like he could be holding a turkey leg, though.
I remember him holding a turkey leg.
What is he holding, though? Maybe it's a map. Maybe he just wanted turkey at the time.
Well, everybody just collectively wanted turkey?
Yeah.
All right. I'll allow it. Because turkey's such a delicious bird.
You don't like turkey?
I'm not a fan. I mean, I don't hate turkey.
Oh, you sound like you hate turkey.
I don't hate turkey. It's dry. It's too dry.
And so that's what I was going to say. My mom makes turkey very different than American turkey. Like, it's not like crispy and fucking dry. It's like in a stew almost that she makes it. And it has beer and mustard. I don't know how that associates. But
you get too drunk to realize.
Maybe. No, but it's actually really good, right? You like my mom's turkey, right? Bitch, I don't like mole. No, no, anyway.
Okay, the Monopoly Man?
Yeah, monocle.
No monocle.
No monocle.
No monocle on the Monopoly Man.
I always remember the monocle.
Everybody remembers a monocle.
That's crazy. You never noticed a monocle?
And some people think that you're confusing you're
With the
mixing
Colonel.
in the Monopoly Man and the peanut guy.
Oh
Mr. Peanut? Is that his
yeah,
name?
or even the KFC guy because I could picture him with like glasses too.
Yes, sure.
Fuck.
KFC.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, I know.
That's racist.
Mickey Mouse. Some people remember Mickey Mouse with suspenders.
No, I don't remember. Wait, I remember him wearing like shorts,
Yeah, he
red
had
shorts, and
the
like
red shorts.
buttons.
Uh-huh.
But I can't picture suspenders.
Yeah, people remember him with suspenders.
Do you remember him with suspenders?
I remember I had a toy, like a plushie of Mickey Mouse when I was young, and he had suspenders.
Really?
Yeah.
The classic plushies had suspenders on it.
So maybe that's where the association
Yeah.
is from. See, there's like things like that are maybe misdesigned or something like that. You know, that maybe
And mass
Trigger-
produced.
yeah.
Yeah. Or C3PO. This one I'm confused on.
Okay,
So, did you watch the original Star Wars?
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah,
All right. I mean, you wouldn't have noticed because I didn't notice, but
he was gold.
he's completely gold
Yeah.
with a silver leg.
Like originally.
Yes.
Oh,
So he's completely gold with a silver leg, and everybody just remembers him completely gold. I remember there being a red arm somewhere.
there is a red arm at a point. Oh my god! Stop.
And that's like this one confused me because everything I could find was just about the silver leg, and I'm like, where the fuck did the red arm come from?
But isn't it like in the later stuff though? Like in the newer stuff? Oh my god! Because I can picture C-3PO with a red arm too, but like I feel like it's in the newer generation.
Because I looked up the image and all I could find was like toys with a red arm and or would look like a superimposed red arm, but I haven't gone back and watched any of the movies.
There's images, and I feel like the red arm. Yeah, it's from the later movies. There's
Prequels.
The Ray one, right? Because that's where this one comes. This little guy comes from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there is a red arm.
Okay, cool. I'm not tripping on that.
The silver leg, I don't remember.
Yes,
I don't
he has a
remember the
silver
silver leg. Wow, crazy. But then again, I was a kid when I saw this, so I'm just
So
like,
you didn't have a
I wasn't
robot
looking
foot
at-
fetish.
I wasn't looking at the fucker's leg. Like I was trying to figure out his gay ass personality.
Well, there was a hammer found in London, Texas, which this one I just find interesting. But people are thinking that it shows kind of that there might have been an overlapping universes or something like that.
A hammer.
They found this hammer that just wasn't rusted, right? And it was a very old hammer, and it was just encased in rock at that point. But it hadn't rusted, right?
Science.
Which is cool. But then that rock shows to have it dates back to the Cretaceous period, which is Jurassic Park basically.
Yeah.
Because everything in Jurassic Park is from the Cretaceous period.
Okay.
They just didn't want to call it Cretaceous Park. Which makes sense. Yeah, so
Wait. What the hammer?
this hammer's encased in that rock.
Okay.
So it shows that this hammer was there before that rock encased it. But the rock is 100 million years old.
Oh.
So it shows that this hammer has been in that rock for 100 million years.
Oh.
When humans only started appearing about 200,000 years ago.
Got it.
So of course it's now in a creation evidence museum.
Oh, of course. You had me until
Yeah, but you could go see it. It's in Texas. You can go
Well-
see this hammer. It's still encased in that stone.
I don't know how much I can trust stuff from Texas anyway. So
They don't even have books
Texas. Oh my god, they don't. London, Texas,
there.
hammer. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be that mystery. You know what's happening? What are we seeing? What do I remember? What can I trust? You
Yeah.
know. And yeah, like there's plenty of things that
Interesting.
I've mentioned that I'll never understand. I know
Yeah.
there's an explanation. I know
Yeah.
it's there.
It's just your
It's gonna
brain.
bug the fuck out of me.
Yeah, it is. It's going to. It's going to. I think it's just our brains. It's just the way our brains work. You know, like you have to kind of almost even like recycle ideas. Even dreams. It's kind of the same thing. You know, like you like you dream about people that you've never met, right? But maybe you saw them at one point in life.
Well, that's
you
the
know?
thing. A brain can create new faces.
Yeah.
So
Oh, shit.
everyone you see in your dreams, you have seen at some point in
Yeah.
time.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you've seen them, you know, and your mind creates this whole, and then a lot of that stuff too, right? Like maybe you had a dream about something and you just associate that to your life because that dream was so impactful, you know, too. So
Like horoscopes.
yes. So I had this really crazy, and it's funny you say that. We should talk about dreams sometimes. We'll talk about that.
All right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that does it for this week.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you, Adolfo, for making us sound bearable.
Yeah.
Make sure to join us next week when we talk about Disney replacing a really big star in order to keep a character alive. Another actor hopes to portray a hero he previously played in the MCU. Famous Slumdog Millionaire director is looking to direct the musical adaptation of this classic sci-fi movie. And EA Sports is ending a nearly 30-year franchise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Curious? Stop by.
By curious.
You guys have anything else to add?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, sweet. Have a week.
Bye.